Welcome. Bit of a wild day. I mean, you wouldn't think that the market was going to keep going up on the idea of the vote being passed today for the government reopening. They just bid the market and then they're trying to bring it back up again. Like that's what usually happens. Buy at a discount, sell at a premium kind of thing. But Bitcoin, man, it's taking a little bit of a tumble. It's, you know what? It's clickbait title. The fact that you are here means that the title has got your attention because there has been a wipeout across the board, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be talking facts. My titles are not clickbait. I talk about what I've mentioned in the title. Why the hell do you complain about titles, man? You're here for the flavor. You're here for the information. You know? Across every single crypto YouTube channel, with the exception of the ones that focus primarily on trading, okay? No one's talking about what I'm about to talk about. So I've given you the clickbait, but I'm going to give you the flavor tonight because we've got a relationship happening, which actually is coming. It's actually in turmoil. You know, when a relationship flops, well, some relationships, they work, some don't. But when we're talking about relationships between nations, yeah, this one in particular is going to be a problem. Go on, what do you think it is? I want to hear if you guys, I want to know if you guys actually do pay attention. All right. No, you know what? Not even pay attention if you listen to what I'm saying. All right. I'm going to spark your interest very shortly, but you heard me talk about it all the time. And I say it all the time because no one else is bothering about it. All right? And if anyone does, watch them because they're leading you on the right path. Okay. I would love to know. How many of you know what I'm going to be talking about? Not US and China. Japan and China, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Don't pay attention to the US and China story. They've priced it all in, whatever. All right. You can't have the two world's biggest economies at each other's throats. You know, it's just a bit of a game of chess. But what we're about to witness that's going to be unfolding very, very soon is a relationship that needs to be working well. Otherwise, it's just going to be dog. It really is. That could lead to a very significant event. Now, we're not talking about a happy event. We're talking about a very bold event. Listen, is it the carry trade again? Listen, if you are complaining about the carry trade, when you see the market shit the bed, all right, and you're looking left and right for a creator to tell you who is it and what's going on, okay, you'll know that it came from here. Because on the 5th of August, everyone was like, why did Bitcoin drop? Why did Bitcoin drop? Why did Bitcoin drop? Everyone was like, why? We put out the carry trade video. Then everyone else put out the carry trade video. And they were like, oh, yeah, it's because of that. 3-4 hours before, you were like, what's happened? Never mind. NVIDIA earnings? No. Of course, Tina. Angel, listen, Angel. It's always your comment, my bro. You. Anyways, I'm going to break it all down for you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Traders Reality. I used to have hair, now I don't. How about that? Let's make sense of this madness, guys, and talk to you about my clickbait title. Yeah? That's what it's all about. It really is getting your attention, but at least we're going to give you the flavor, so let's go. That was such a long-winded introduction. Anyway, so Wall Street gains on optimism the US will soon reopen. You see, this has been the same title on Bloomberg for so long, and they've updated it at 20 past 9 in the evening UK time. So Wall Street bets that the largest shutdown in history is soon coming to an end. Let's tune into that bad boy. What are they saying? Hold on. Wait. Get your headphones on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what they're having to say. Hold on. Here we go. Come on.
Millions of taxpayer dollars funneled to the benefit of a handful of senators, while families are struggling to afford groceries and health care. We are being asked to sign off on a deal that lines the pockets of the very people who wrote it. That is an insult to every hardworking taxpayer who expects honesty from their government. The contrast could not be clearer. Republicans are operating in the currency of cruelty and corruption, while Democrats are fighting with courage and compassion. The American people deserve better, and I will never stop fighting to protect the basic necessities every family needs to survive. I yield back.
Gentlelady from Minnesota.
Okay, so all the guys.
I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from Georgia.
Gentleman from Georgia.
Come on, Georgia.
For 2 minutes.
Georgia.
Thank you, Mr.
Georgia.
Speaker. And, you know, the American farmer needs this bill to pass. The American soldier needs this bill to pass. Our air traffic controllers need this bill to pass. The men and women who protect us here in this Capitol and all federal law enforcement need this bill to pass. I'm one of those who represents a lot of federal employees, and they've been without a check for a long time, Mr. Speaker. This is very simple. Very simple.
Just open it.
It's way past time to open the government up. There are going to be a lot of excuses about coulda, shoulda, woulda, and you need to take this provision or that provision out, or they're going to vote to keep the government shut down.
I've got to calm myself down.
Let me tell you something. The vote today, it is straight up or straight down. You vote to open the government up today, or you vote to keep it closed. That's all there is to it. Now, as for the provision that's been mentioned a few times about the Senate language, I have introduced a piece of legislation already to repeal the Senate language, and I'm hopeful that we'll have a vote on that as soon as we get back. Mr. Speaker, I yield the remainder of my time.
Reserve.
Gentlelady from Minnesota continues to reserve her time. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, you gotta love these guys. I mean, they're all introducing legislation to repeal provisions.
All right, listen. So we could sit and watch this and listen to them go back and forth and all that fun and games. But let's be honest now, guys. The opening itself for the marketplace, the sad truth of it is this. To the American, the person that's not receiving the income that it needs from the US government, whether they're working or not, or soldiers, what have you, okay? The fact is the market does not care about that. It doesn't. And this is the brutal nature of the game that you are in. One man's fun is another's hell. And when you understand that, then you can obviously come to this game and realize what it's truly about, okay? We as marketeers, traders, we do not give a damn whether this government is going to make sure it pays its money to the peoples. That's the truth. Why? Because the market cares about when the data is coming. That's all. Because we don't know if we're going to get interest rate cuts or not. You don't hear no one on the street talking about whether the farmers need their income, whether people in work in the federal governments that are out of work, money's not being spent on certain events and projects and what have you. You don't hear big banks talking about that. You hear them saying, we're just waiting for the data from the BLS. And that's the sad truth, ladies and gentlemen. It's BS. It really is. So all what you're witnessing here, they're just voicing out, open the government, and you've got this story with Donald Trump and the Epstein files and that he knew the victims and what have you. And it's just him saying, you know, the Democrats trying to divert attention away from the fact that the government is shut down. It is actually farcical. The market just wants the data. According to sources, ladies and gentlemen, looks like things are starting to change a little bit. Bets are now coming down a little bit, 65.4% on the interest rates being at 3.5, 3.75 in the meeting in December, okay? And then, of course, they're betting now with the idea of a 40%. Sorry, 59.6. See, it's 59.4, sorry. It's going down. And now this is going up, 33.75 to 4%. That's interesting. That is really interesting. It's no good, really, when you think about it, because we need the interest rates to get cut. But I think someone is going to do it before us. And you know who it's going to be. Japan. So to the dude that's like, oh, not the carry trade principle again. Without this, your stock market isn't going to go up. Because at the rates that the dollar has been at 4.5%, and it's just come down from 4.25%, now it's at 4%, at 0.5%, that's cheap money. And that's the Japanese yen. Okay? If the Bank of Japan increases their interest rates China ain't going to be too happy. Why? China's already struggling economically speaking. Okay? That will then force investors who see that the Bank of Japan have increased their interest rates to get rid of the money that they have used, in other words, yen, to invest in China, not just the US, but to invest in China. And China is deemed as more of a riskier marketplace. So that's now taking liquidity out of China straight back into Japan. These two just shook hands, but his face ain't too happy. Heavyweights clash as an election of the hawkish PM Sinai Takachi, can't even say it, and the US policy unpredictability change calculus in region. Says here, days after Japan's prime minister and Chinese leader promised a new era of cooperation at Leadership Summit, blunt comments from Takachi about Taiwan and a threatening Chinese rejoinder have plunged relationships into the countries into turmoil. So it doesn't look like it's too good right there, is it, ladies and gentlemen? Because if Bank of Japan, which I am saying it now, Bank of Japan are most definitely going to increase their interest rates. They are just preparing us for it. They're giving the market a chance. This woman is very hawkish. She wants to increase the rates. By increasing the interest rates, you attract investment. Why is Warren Buffett sat in $360 billion worth of cash? And why has he been buying up Japanese stocks? Do the math. Just do the flipping math. Wait for them to increase the interest rate, step in and lock in a yield. Done. That's how he's doing it. And then the carry trade principle itself means that all the yen that he's probably sat in or accumulating is going to increase in value so that he can then start putting that yen to work. It's a wonderful thing. But you heard it here. Bank of Japan are going to increase their interest rates. It's most definitely happening. Now the carry trade will unwind. Now let's just break it down. Bitcoin, how's that going to fare with it? Well, we'll talk about Bitcoin in a second. Just quickly get the clickbait title out of the way. There you go. 140 billion wiped out in 5 hours. What a shit show. Global cryptocurrency market experienced a sharp downturn on Wednesday, erasing $140 billion within 5 hours. Market capitalization went from 3.54 trillion to 3.4 trillion. Ha! What a joke. What is going on with Bitcoin? Well, did we not say this morning that inflows were about 540 million, showing us renowned interest in institutional funds? Wrong, ladies and gentlemen. They are using your Bitcoin like no tomorrow. Who's gamma negative? Yeah, who's gamma negative? Mr. Market Maker. So what do you think he's done today? More than likely gone and picked up the ETF, right? And shorted it on the futures markets. They're winning both ways. They get a better average entry and they're earning money on the short. It's just crazy. They're really violating Bitcoin like no tomorrow. Speaking of which, XRP secures NASDAQ listing notice as Canary XRPC trading starts. Woo! Yeah, baby. Let's go and break down a little bit of XRP price action for all the holders. Where's my XRP army? Here you go. It's just quite amazing how you've got Bitcoin just like, look at this. It's bold movement lower. Ethereum's did well today. Solana just come down a little bit. Then you've got the NASDAQ just went down and it's trying to come back up again. And then you've got XRP. BlackRock, well, Larry Fink pretty much put to bed the idea of an XRP ETF. I will be really, and you know what? I'm going to say it here. An ETF for XRP will truly be a money market ETF. If the cryptocurrency itself in the leverage markets and the derivative markets doesn't flipping move, well, the money markets anyways don't move. That's why there's nearly $7 trillion over there waiting to navigate when the interest rates are going to get cut so that they can start taking the money out of the ETFs and start planting it into the stock market. But we're going to wait for the market to drop. Two events that could come into play. A, they don't increase the interest rates. B, Bank of Japan will. So that's your next event. And then maybe C, China invades Taiwan. That's the only thing that can really happen to cause this marketplace to drop. Or Jerome Powell does another term, something like that. Yeah, this is the thing with, look, I'm not worried about Circle. I'm really not worried about it. I'm not. At all. Not worried. It's a discount for me. Sorry, it's a discount. It's a huge discount. This thing is going to go back up. Where is it? There you go. I'm not worried about it at all. It's a discount. Because even though, yeah, interest rates are going to impact it, there's too many partnerships behind Circle right now. They're going to start getting things working out. Trust me. Once your rates get cut, it's going to naturally happen. Some investors are sat in USDT yield. Okay? They're generating yield. They're locking in yield. Look, USDT dominance is currently here, 5.41%. All right? When the interest rates start to drop, then the idea is money's going to be cheaper, so you're going to put it to work. So it doesn't favor to stay in dollars, does it? No. It's going to be an interesting one, I'll tell you that. It really will be. High block. Let's break it down. Do you know what? I'm going to say it now. I look on the internet and I look at what people think when it comes to Bitcoin, right? And like I said to you a couple of days ago, like, just keep saying it's going to go up, it's going to go up, it's going to go up. And in the end, it will go up. And then you'll be claimed glory that, you knew it was going to go up. Well, if you're saying the same shit every day, and someone's going to be like, yeah, okay, all right, it's gone up in the end, bro. All right, cool. You told us, man. These two areas, right? You've got hyper open interest at these levels here, okay? Nothing much has been happening down here, which is a little bit of a problem for me. Going into the order flow. Tonight, it's going to be an interesting one. They are just packing it here. They're packing it here. So a lot of liquidity's down there, man. The 100K. Remember what the market maker was doing, okay? Between 111,000 and 100,000, right? He is effectively playing this range. If he loses 100,000, he will be then forced to sell the underlying, which means he will have to keep on selling into weakness, all right? If it can get back up above 111,000, he will then be going in for the squeeze, which will then take us to the all-time high. But we're trading very, very close to this range. Now, if the US government reopens, hopefully everything goes up. But then we're going to get insight into what the data is going to reveal. And the way the bets are looking, I hope this is because investors are like, they've been basing it off the Fed speakers, this story here. They've only been making these adjustments to the bets based on Fed speakers with their expectation. Like, we're going to try and aim to keep inflation down at 2%. Yeah, the labor market looks like it's cool, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. No, don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that the labor market is cool and it's doing okay. We want to hear it's absolutely terrible, because then that grants the idea of the cut. We can't see the economy sustaining itself. We don't want the economy to sustain itself. No, we need to see a problem in the marketplace. Looking at Bitcoin right now, guys, we've got a bit of an issue on the daily time frame. You can see that we're trading below the 5 and 13 EMA. Logic says to me that we're gonna go lower. That's my logic. Okay. Going into the weekly chart, you can see we've tapped the 50 EMA twice on the last week, and then we came back, and then we've come into it this week and we've moved away from it. The only logical spot for Bitcoin is to actually take this, and we don't really have that much happening here, guys. There's not that much support in that range. This was a continuation support based off one candle. But, okay, if it does break this range here, then we're going to have a little bit of a problem. Your Bitcoin's going to be cheaper, and you can call me bearish. I'm not bearish. I'm just telling you where it's going to be cheaper. Oh, no. You want it up here? Okay, then. Here's a YouTube answer. Bitcoin will be back to this vector candle. It will. I know it will. I know it will. It will come back to it. We just need to pick some up first. We need to sell into it. All right? Your rates are being cut, ladies and gentlemen. Of course it's going to go back up. That's the realistic thing. It's going to go back up, but it's going to be a little while before it does, in my opinion. Oh, days. Jihad Tino says there is a chance. Oh, my days. This guy. What a guy. Where did you get this range from? Agreed, if you don't own it already. Anyways, Tino, where is the lacrosse? Oh, you know about the lacrosse proper mug. Yeah, the lacrosse cup. Yeah, it keeps your drink warm, man. I haven't got it tonight. I haven't got a cup. I ain't got my drink with me, man, unfortunately. Yeah. Bald guy peddling circle. Oh, God, you guys with your dead comments. Not all of you. What if we don't get that rate cut in December? Thoughts? You know what? I love that. I love it when people say that. Tino, Bitcoin is raiding the 50 EMA with a green vector candle to the downside, and the idea that it could actually bounce from this point and then take another vector candle recovery from the 50 EMA. What are your thoughts? The fuck, man? You've already told me what your thoughts are. Don't forget about mine. You've told me. You're the one with the thoughts, not me. Tino, can you check the premium index? Mathis, you, my dear friend, have asked a very good question. I can check the premium index because I said you buy when it's red, yeah? Okay. So let me just get that up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Got to verify because these computers these days. Just continue. Come on. Just come on. Hurry up, you. I have to say the initial balance weekly and monthly is like magic. Thanks a lot for the education. Mad love to you for playing that. Well done. You've been playing the initial balance story. Yes. That's a very good thing. Here we go. So, what are we doing with the Coinbase Premium Index? Ooh. All right. Here's the magic. All right. So, the Coinbase Premium Index says that when it's negative, US retail investors are selling. Of course they are. And when it's positive, it means US retail buyers buying it up. Look at where they're buying. Look, they're buying here, buying. What do we do now? We're stopping. What are we going to do? Are we going to sell? No, ladies and gentlemen, you don't sell. You don't buy when it's green. You buy when it's red. You buy when it's red. Okay? Now, you can see that the way it's actually behaving, let's just zoom into this for a split second. You can see here, if you can actually see that. All right, hold on. Can you do that? No, you can't. Right, let me just do this because this is actually horrible. Oh, here we go. All right, can you see at the bottom right there? Yeah? Look at it. See, it looks like we're on a leg to the downside. The second it starts trending upwards, ladies and gentlemen, that's when we've got to pay attention. All right? The second it does create this structure, all right, you're effectively looking for it to do a W formation. Okay, you really are, because you want the interest to come back in again inside of this range. That would imply a little bit of a demand at the lows. So if we look at this bottom bit here, it looks like we've got like a double, triple bottom kind of thing. Okay, but quite frankly, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm just saying visually, that's what you really want to be seeing. But can we assume that the mode for buying is still going to be coming into play? In other words, it's going to go lower. Well, you can see the order flow is there. Ooh, all the way down to 92. Why would you be selling into this if these are the orders that are waiting to pick it up? There's a dude that wants to buy 20 million. Where is it? Just saw it there. This is, here we go. $20 million worth of Bitcoin at 100,288. Sell your Bitcoin to him. And then when it rises, you'll sell 7 million to him. Because, no, you will buy 7 million from him. So, are you going to look at this and say, right, sell your Bitcoin? Sell your Bitcoin. No. This is where you start buying it. Now it's that red. This is on the premise that we are in a bullish market, which we are. We are in a bullish market for cryptocurrency, and everyone says zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, zoom out, ladies and gentlemen. Zoom out. All right, cool. Let's zoom out. Let's do it even better. Pancake Swap flavor. Look at that. There you go. Pancake Swap. Just listed on Pancake Swap. Flying up. Yeah? Meme coin status. All right? I bet you if I took a screenshot of this, put it on X, and I say, which meme coin is this? I guarantee they'll be throwing everything at it. And then I'll be like, it's Bitcoin on the 12-month chart. There you go. No one would know. No one would ever know. You'd never know. You never know. Would they know? No. They would never know. I've got such a headache, you would not believe it. But anyway, my point is to you, ladies and gentlemen, it's all good saying zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, okay? Do you have the capacity and the liquidity to absorb a draw? All right, okay, let me ask you all a question. How many of you are in a position to buy Bitcoin from this high? Right? How many of you can buy Bitcoin from this high? And if they said you have to be able to hold until 20,000, could you do that? And that's just giving you an example. We've been in the situation where it went from 67 down to 16, right? And a lot of people got capitulated. A lot. Right? But could you buy Bitcoin now? Would it hurt if it went down to 20,000? Would it hurt? Would it hurt? Okay, if your cost base is 53, yes, that's what I mean. For you, my friend, it's not really a problem. Would it hurt? Nope. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, Celtic Salt, man. I know about that. Buy more. It will hurt and set, forget, hard stops. Yes and no. You bet. Yep. I don't live on my investment. Okay. It would kill. There you go. Yeah, because I bought from 16 up to 45. Yeah. What do you think about ICT? I mean, ICT is ICT. ABT, ICT. Whoa. Honest opinion on ICT. ICT, right, is very... You've got to... Okay, I have like an equivalent, right? You remember when I say to you guys, when I recite to you the logic of the cycle, okay? When I say to you, here you go, ladies and gentlemen, here is the weekly cycle. W formation, rise, retrace level 1, retrace level 2, rise, retrace level 3, peak formation, drop level 1, drop level 2, drop level 3, peak formation. Now, I can say that because I've done that so many times and thousands of times. But that information, to be able to let that roll off my mouth, is because I've understood it. I've recited it many times. The ICT traders are like that. They've recited and learned all of the concepts behind it. And sometimes the concepts are pretty... You know, to go to a retail trade, when I see on TikTok, I've got a 17-year-old boy talking about displacement and mitigation and all that stuff. I'm like, is this guy studying law? And I'm like, well, no, he's actually talking about price action, you know? And what I don't understand is why you have so many words and long words at that. Why the fuck would you say FVG? Why would you summarize that? Why would you make it into an acronym? Fair value gap. Stick to the long words, man. You know? But it is a really, don't get twisted. I watch what goes off on the ICT space, and it's just the same shit. It really is. You know? He wrote the algorithm. That's the myth. That's what they're saying. He wrote the algorithm. Wears a baseball cap. So I'm profiling my guy who wrote the algorithm. But then, you see dudes that actually have wrote the algorithm, and they're in tracksuits. Does that make sense? So, now, jokes aside, man, everyone each to their own in their craft. There are people that are ripping it apart with ICT. Ripping it apart. Because it doesn't matter. I've seen ICT traders and I've seen MACD traders terrorize ICT traders. What's the difference? What, because ICT doesn't work? No. ICT does work. MACD does work. It's about who applies the system. If ICT says that this is a fair value gap and then this is a order flow 3 or this is an order block or whatever, okay? If it says X, Y, and Z, do X, Y, and Z over a sample size of trades. If you don't do it over a sample size of trades, right? And then you turn around and say ICT doesn't work. Well, hold on a second. How many sample sizes have you got? How many trades have you taken? Well, I took 7 trades, man. Shut up. 7 trades. Give me 1,000 trades. Because the way that ICT is working with the idea of the price action, they're all basing it off the 1 minute time frame, 5 minute time frame. Okay. So you've got the option to take a lot of trades. So you need to take a large sample size of trades. Plus, you've got to have the experience to understand what's going on. What do you identify as a block or whatever it is? If you have zero experiencing in identifying what something could be, then no system is going to work for you, whether it's ICT, MACD, or even the fucking hybrid system itself. You know? The hybrid system's kind to you all. Gives you colored candles. Look, it makes it easier for you to understand. One thing that I will say to you all about this system is simple. Practice it. All right? Practice, practice, practice. You don't even need to put money to it. All right? Because when you start putting money to it, then that's where it comes to working on your accountability. How are you as a trader? Are you responsible enough to be disciplined? All right? Because if there was one system that made money for everyone, then everyone would be trading that one system. Why is there so many other systems out there? Because people have attention spans of 0. People don't have the discipline to stick to something. They want the quick fix. They want it to be done for them. They want their hand to be held. They want it to be easy. Tell me, where should I go to? You know, should I buy or should I sell? Why are you coming into this game? I can give you the buy. I can give you the sell. But don't you want to know the why? Why is he buying? Why is he selling? Because if you can understand why, if I can give you a buy and sell, then you'll be like, well, if I know what he knows, then I can work out the buy and sell for myself. Like I said, the hybrid system is about practice. None of you have done what I've done, and I know that. Some of you may have. But I challenge anyone to do this. Anyone to do it. I was on MT4 back in the day. And that's when I was backtesting. But I wasn't backtesting. It was Netflix for me. That's what it was. I wasn't out. I wasn't drinking, wasn't smoking, wasn't raving, did none of that shit. I stayed home. Because I said to myself, I need to crack this. I need to understand something. The idea of an edge means you've got an ability to understand something. So it's not, I have to crack the markets. I have to be able to identify something. So I went on to MT4, MetaTrader. And I extracted data. And I realized that on the 1 minute time frame and the 5 minute time frame, the 15 minute, the 30 minute, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour, and the daily, those are the only time frames that I've got. Right now, I've got a time frame which is the 85th minute, 166 minutes, and the 13-hour time frame and the 22-minute time frame. Didn't have that luxury then. Okay? I backtested from 1970. I put it into MetaTrader. I went onto the euro on the 1 minute time frame from 1970 all the way up to around 2010, 12, something like that. Okay. No, it was 2015. 2015, what I remember it up to. Okay. 2015. Backtesting. All right. Or was it 15? 12? I don't know. But it was in the 2000s. Right. I think it was like 300,000 candlesticks, I think it was, or 400,000. I don't even know. Okay. That was on the 1 minute time frame, and I was trying to mark up the vectors. And I watched it. I was like, they always recover the green and the blue and the red vector. Wrote it down. Went onto the 5 minute time frame for euro, did exactly the same thing from 1970 all the way through. Did it again on the 15 minute time frame. Did it again on the 30 minute and on the 1 hour and on the 4 hour. Okay? Done. Then I went on to the dollar yen. I did exactly the same thing. 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, and I sat and watched it. Okay? No pauses. I watched it. Because when you're watching it, and you know what to look for, okay, you then start to see things happening. You'll be like, I can expect it to go back there then. So I'm having it like hyper focus now. I'll do it an example like this. All right? So here's an example of what I would do with it. Say we've got Bitcoin right here, okay? And we just go to the replay bar, all right? Continue. And we just go back. Oh, it's on the daily. I don't want it to be on the daily. I want it to be on the 1 minute time frame, okay? So I'm going to go back. Hypothetically, this is what I would do, okay? I would press play, so I select bar from here, okay? And what I would do was simply this. What's frozen? No, don't even tell me it's frozen. Don't even tell me it's frozen. My camera's not frozen. Don't even tell me that. Hold on. Are we good? Yeah, of course we are. Fixed. 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 Yes. We good? We fixed? Fixed? Okay, cool. Anyways. So. Sorry, it was, yeah, from back in the day. You're correct. It wasn't 99, but I did it on dollar yen. I did it on euro. Did it on pound. I did it on Swiss and did it on gold. So, yeah. Okay, cool. So this is what we did. This was the back test for me. And those of you who know about MT4 know that this is slow as hell. This back test on TradingView is slow as hell because MT4 is fast as hell. It is rapid. All right. So what I would do is I'd look at this and I'd be like, okay, then cool. And this is how you should, in my opinion, how you should back test. Okay. So you're currently in an Asian session with Bitcoin. All right. So what you've got to identify is what are you looking for? Right? Because you don't know what's going to happen next. All right. But you've got to have a context in your mind about it. So you could say to yourself, right, okay, we're waiting for the Asian session to be set. Right. And what we're looking at in the environment, we can see we've got an old high over here and we've got a low down here. All right. Okay, cool. So what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking to see if price is going to come to this one or it's going to go to this one because we're stuck inside of a range right now. Okay, cool. All right. So we just focus on that. Now it's on the 1 minute time frame. All right. So now I'm looking at it. And I can see that I'm waiting for the range to form. Okay, it's doing that. It's not doing anything. It's making its way down towards that range. Okay, hasn't it taken it yet? No, it's making a recovery up with this red vector candle zone over here. Okay, cool. So I'm waiting for it to actually populate. And I'm running a dialogue in my mind saying, okay, I can expect it to try and sweep that. Okay, cool. Right. So I've identified that the Asian session has swept the previous day's New York session low. Okay, the New York session low. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, and then keep playing. And then what happens here? Like it looks like it's moved away from that New York low. Okay, but it didn't move away for too long. All right. So then I'm saying to myself, all right, then. So with anyways. Did you get that? It's not a boomer moment. It's just, I just can't be arsed with it. Look, all I'm saying to you guys is this. Go back and test, all right? Go back and do the back test, all right? Don't just look at it going up and down. Make sure that when you see it do something, highlight it, all right? If you recognize it creating an environment where price goes up and then it comes down, identify it. Then go back again and do it in for a long period of time from before. Go back test it from as far as you physically can. Don't back test with crypto, back test with Forex. You've got more data for that, all right? And then just identify something that if you see it developing, say, okay, I think it's going to do this, and then write about it. Write about what it does and then where it ended up afterwards. So then you can itemize the behavior. When you itemize the behavior, you then start to create this dialogue or this collection of behaviors. And then all you've got to do is then go to the charts and trade it. Because then you'll be looking at the chart and saying to yourself, well, okay, I mean, just look at this, right? Look at that. When I went back in the charts ages before, like we were going back quite a bit, isn't that the same thing that we just saw? It was in the Asian session was forming, and then it went and swept the Asian session low, okay? And it's moved away from it. Sorry, the New York session low. So you can identify, and again, look, they come and swept that low. They didn't quite take it, but they moved away from it. Here we go. We've got this. No, it's nothing there because it's the weekend, all right? And then the same thing, they've come down into the low, but they moved away from it. So the support was triggered, and then they tried to come into it again. No, support was triggered. It came up. All right, and then look, they've come into the low again, moved away from it, come into it, moved away from it. So now you're building a dialogue with yourself that there is a behavior that keeps on repeating itself. Write it down and then look for another bit of behavior, okay? That's what I believe is a backtest. Backtest is not doing this. It's not doing like draw a line and then getting your fucking whatever it is, this stupid whatever. You get the idea, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I don't know why they do this continue thing. It absolutely winds me up when they do it. Anyway, you need to remember crypto is in a phase that is still complicated for most of people. You guys might say crypto is dead, but watching 3 to 5 years from now until 2030, what happens with crypto? Look, yeah, crypto's still not done. You need a wipeout. You've had too much hype in crypto. You need a wipeout. That's what you need. Tantino, we always get our Christmas rally every year. Can that change or be different? Or playing games? Will the Santa rally come? Santa will be for the rate cuts. That's what we're wanting. We want the rate cuts in December. That'll be Christmas. Then the Christmas tree will fall down. Tino the Bear says, Wipeout. Yeah, it's all good. Tino, show us your settings, how many screens you use. You know what? Settings. I've got these screens for convenience. You know, I've got a 42-inch here to my left. I've got a 32 on the screens for the live stream, right? I've got a 52-inch over here. I've got 449 ultra wides over there. I've got the digital 52-inch one. And yeah, I've got 3 more screens over there. And that's it. I think 5 screens over there. So yeah, 5. Yeah, but they're not on. So check the Instagram. Yeah, go to my Instagram and I'll show it you. You'll see it. Tino's growing gray hairs. Yeah. Show us the giant chart. No. Trump's having private dinner with JP Morgan, BlackRock. That'll be interesting. Hold on. Wait there. House China panel holding hearing on mineral prices. That's going to be interesting. Oh, Collins, what are you saying? Elevated inflation warrants still mildly restrictive policy. I'm telling you now, man. Come on, man. Don't even tell me that these guys are going to actually hold the rates. They're going to hold the rates. Tino, Trump talked about you last night. How? Does XRP have its own special screen? Don't piss me off, man. Please. Don't talk about it. All right? It frustrates the life out of me. I'm sick of the asset. I just want you all to sell as much of it as possible. We need that supply. Tina, if we're going to be buying as the next week went on, how would you combine the 2020-2040 along with the VWAP buying strategies? That is a great question, Dutchman. But what about the foreheads? I'll bring it back to you, man. That'll be something for tomorrow. I'll talk about that for you, bro. Tia, do you have any promo codes for the Platinum membership? Not yet. We don't. Get an XRP tattoo. Do you dare me to get an XRP tattoo? XRP tattoo. All right. 150,000 subscribers on YouTube and I'll get an XRP tattoo. And that's not far away. I'll get an XRP tattoo. Share this live. I've said it. Put it on X. Put it on Insta. Do what you need to do. All right? 150,000 subscribers and I will get an XRP tattoo. And I'll slap it next to this dude right here. I said last time I made a bet with you all. That was the result of it. I make a bet. I'll make a bet. All right? So the bet's here. I've got 1,088 people here. All right? I'm making the bet. 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm stuck at 132,000. Just don't like the number 132. And get it to that. Share it with a friend. I will get the XRP tattoo. Most definitely. I've got this live as evidence. All right? So you can't say to me that I won't, because I will. Bad idea, bro. I know. Shit. 200K. Nah, thing is, right, I try and get you guys to like the stream. Right? You can't even do that. You're kind of like Bitcoin. Don't make drunk decisions. Yeah, get the XRP. Yes, I have flipping lost it. Oh, the Canary XRP ETF is approved. Oh, of course it has. Bitcoin 150K first or sub count? No, we'll go for a sub count. Why not? You know? I know all those screens, just face tattoo. Nah, man, I'll get it on my arm. Do we get out of Bitcoin long positions tonight? Stephen and Nick. That's, I don't know. Are you platinum, bro? Yeah. I'm just leaving this live long. I've got time to kill. But I shouldn't do that, because you guys have got too much, taking too much of your time. XRP tattoo behind the ear. No. Right. Get on the socials. X, Traders Reality. Instagram, Traders Reality. Share what you need to share. And hashtag it XRP tattoo. And just tell everyone I've said it here. All right? Get to 150K. And I'll get the tattoo. And I'll video it. I'll get it all done. And I'll put it on my arm. Even though I despise that, I will flipping do it. With that being said, mad love and respect to you all, guys. Thank you for your 46 minutes of your life. I've just spoken shit on this live stream, but I hope you've learned a thing or two. Take care of yourselves, gang. Peace. Want me to get an XRP tattoo? Get the fuck. I'm joking.